game is lame and absurd, but you spit. You need to sit back and observe a certified pimp. So oh yes he is. I mean that boy does the shit. He's a mess he is. Fresh to death. Ain't nobody fresh as he is. They can't compare. Go get next to him because he's so fly. I mean the boy's so clean. From his white tee home down to those jeans. You see the ice in the pinky.
Good morning, everybody. It's your man's Ken Jackson. This is the Ken Jackson Experience, back with another episode of my daily commentary. And the question today is, should violent content online be banned? Ever since forever, actually, it's been spoken about, but more so in recent days, since the assassination of Charlie Kirk in Utah just the other day. As soon as it happened, or actually as it happened, it was shown online, on social media, on a lot of people's feeds. It was live and for real in your face. And a lot of times, these feeds will just show up, within your timeline or others' timelines without them requesting it, and the question is, what does it do to our brains? What does it do to our psyche when we see so much violent imagery like this? I mean, on a daily basis, we see it all the time. We see live streams from war zones, from cities all around the world. We see violent crime being streamed live, and I guess studies have shown that it does have an effect on the mental state of the population. Now, me personally, doesn't faze me one way or the other. Growing up, I was never not exposed to violent imagery or things that now we say children shouldn't be watching. My parents didn't censor what we saw. They freely showed us that, hey, this is the world we live in, and this stuff happens, and these are some of the things that we're going to have to deal with as we grow up. We're going to see more of it, unfortunately. So we were never, like I said, we were never censored from seeing imagery like that. And I think it was fine. I mean, it didn't affect me either or. I see stuff now and I'm like, wow, it's a shame that it happens to people. And, I feel bad for people when they're injured or killed, especially unnecessarily, whether it be through acts of, blatant violence, or accidents or whatever the case may be. It doesn't, me personally, it doesn't faze me. It never has. Even as a child, I was shocked to see certain things. I was like, wow, that's crazy, but I can't ever remember being traumatized because I saw something like that. Now, obviously, it doesn't affect everyone the same way. And I personally feel like, as we grow up, we have to learn how to deal with these things because it's real life. When you really think about it, humans are the only creatures on this planet that has these mental issues because of violence and what we consider to be I don't know, traumatizing imagery or actions or acts. Nature doesn't have any restrictions on what it shows. And a lot of people will say, well, we're not animals and this, that, or the. Yes, we are. We are animals. And I think it's unfortunate for us that we've developed what we call so-called society or civilization, because I think that has damaged us more than anything. We've created these fake morals because we all live by these fake morals, and we try to basically alter nature. Yes, we claim to know the difference between right and wrong. But as I said, we're the only creatures on the planet, that lives by these self-imposed rules, of culture and society. And are we different? Yes, we're obviously different because we live based on reasoning and what we call common sense, and we expect things to be in a certain order. We've set up rules that we're supposed to follow, but does that go against the rules and laws of nature? I mean, we are natural creatures as well, but something in the evolutionary chain caused us to be different, and we actually think and we rationalize things, whereas in the natural world, they just act upon instinct. They kill because they eat. You know what I'm saying? And aside from other primates like chimpanzees, we are probably the only creatures on the planet that kill just to kill. We kill for sport. And I think that's what's wrong with us. I honestly think that we're flawed in our evolutionary development. Because we are murderers. I think humans are inherently evil, and it's unfortunate to think that. I'm sure. I wish it wasn't that way, but history has proven that humans are inherently evil, self-destructive, and we have a lot of flawed character traits, I'll say. Now, does the imagery that we see, online, and in the media, does it affect us in any type of way? Maybe it does. But maybe it doesn't. Maybe it just forces us to act on our natural instinct. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist or scientist or anything like that. I'm just a regular person like most of us out here, who, feels that, yes, we're definitely different. There is something wrong, in my opinion, with just straight up murdering somebody, for the sake of murder. Or because we feel some kind of way about another person's beliefs or actions or whatever. Now, in reference to the Charlie Kirk assassination, I'm not mourning Charlie Kirk, but I'm also not celebrating his death. It's not something that I would wish on anyone. regardless of how I felt about his politics or his feelings toward me in general as a black man, because we all know what his hateful rhetoric was, in terms of equality and civil rights for all, we all know that his rhetoric was just wrong. It was just wrong. But that's not something that would cause me to wish death upon the man. I mean, I'm of the mindset that, hey, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. I don't have to fuck with you, and you don't have to fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? We can still continue to live and exist in this world together, and we never have to interact at all. You know what I mean? And that's how I feel about everybody. I feel like if, people should be able to feel what they feel, think what they think, but keep it to yourself. You want to hang out with a group of people that think and feel the same way, that's fine too. But don't fuck with anybody else. Let people be who they are. You know what I mean? There's so many things in this world that I don't necessarily find acceptable, for myself, but I'm not going to impose my feelings, and desires on anybody else. I raised my children, to the best of my ability. Now they're all grown and they have their own minds and their own beliefs, and they are who they are, and even as a parent, I don't impose my will on my children. Hey, be who you are. You know what I'm saying? Go through life, in the best way that you see fit for yourself. But again, just don't impose your thoughts and beliefs on anyone else. We see a lot of that with these religious zealots. Charlie Kirk himself was a self-proclaimed born-again Christian. That's cool. That's fine. If that's how you want to live your life, fine. But don't impose that on anyone else. I don't believe in Christianity. I don't believe in Islam. I don't believe in Judaism. It's not something that I follow. But I'm not going to hate on somebody else because that's what they believe or that's what they follow. The violence is out of control. The school shootings, the proliferation of deadly weapons in our culture is definitely out of control. And I think something should be done about it. I think access to weaponry should definitely be limited to those who can handle it responsibly. That's not to say that we're going to completely eliminate, shootings and such, but I think, for instance, there should be laws in place that require a mental health evaluation, that require background checks, extensive background checks, before someone is allowed to buy a weapon, because, the Second Amendment, be that as it may, guarantees us the right to keep and bear arms. I'm all fine with that. But I think we should know the mental state of those who are keeping and bearing arms, because there are people out here who have no business having weapons, like the guy the kid who murdered Charlie Kirk. He's a 22-year-old, self-radicalized, apparently. He became increasingly disturbed, I guess, personally by Charlie Kirk. He felt the story is that he felt some kind of personal hatred toward Charlie Kirk. Now, yeah, obviously, that's something that none of us in the general public could have known in advance. but I'm quite sure that people close to him in his circles saw the transformation of his personality or attitude towards certain things, and I think the red flags were definitely there, but people just ignored it because most people feel like, hey, you know, it's his business, blase, blase. You know, there's certain things that I do believe that need to be reported, that need to be spoken about, just for the overall self-preservation of the society, as well as I do believe that people should be free to be, you know, but we need restrictions. We as humans need restrictions. We as Americans need restrictions because this problem doesn't exist in other countries. This is purely an American thing. And I often wonder how that came to be, considering, you know, America is supposed to be the place safest, according to the American doctrine. This is supposed to be the land of milk and honey, the place of opportunity, and but we know there's never been equal opportunity for all here in America. We have a certain group of people who feel like they should always be in power and they should always be the ones to dictate how everyone else should live. And we know who they are. I'm not gonna break the group down. We've always had other groups of people who have been oppressed, literally. And a lot of you out there will agree with me. A lot of you will not agree with me. But this society is far from perfect. But we put too much emphasis on the freedom of owning weapons in this country. And when these violent acts happen, the thoughts and prayers go out. And that's one of the things that I'm so sick of. I'm so sick of the thoughts and the prayers, you know, because I'm not one of those people who believes in the God, the Almighty Creator. And Charlie Kirk was one of those. He gave his life to Jesus, and I guess he's standing in front of Jesus right now, probably asking the question, yo, what's going on? Why did this happen to me? Why did you take me away from my family? Why did you allow this person, you know, to commit such a violent act against me on earth, you know? But who knows? I don't know where Charlie Kirk is right now. You know, I don't know if he went to heaven or hell or wherever, you know. All I know is that in this existence, karma is real. And he spent his life spreading hateful words and hateful rhetoric. And unfortunately, the chickens came home to roost. He literally said out of his own mouth that we have to be okay with occasional shootings and murders in order for us to maintain our Second Amendment rights and other rights. And look what happened. Look what happened to him. It's unfortunate. You know, like I said, I'm not celebrating his death or what happened to him, but I'm not mourning him either. I strongly believe that your own words can bring things about, you know, in your life. I believe that your karmic journey depends a lot on how you carry yourself, things that you say, you know, and what you put out into the universe. In fact, that's the only thing that I believe in terms of a higher power, is that we're all a part of one existence, one universe, one, how would you say, hive mind. And no, I don't think that there's an invisible person in the sky that's, that created everything and somehow or another just, knows everything and knows all and runs this like a big symphony. You know what I'm saying? We have scientists that think that we're living in a simulation. It's very possible. We've created simulated worlds with our own technology. Who's to say that we're not a piece of technology that's being manipulated by some other people, in a higher level of existence than what we are? We could be the Sims, in our real life, who knows? Who knows? None of us know, and I don't think any of us will ever know. But again, the violence, as I know it, as we all know it, is out of control in this world. A lot of people, are grieving every day, not just for Charlie Kirk. Let me tell you the thing about the Charlie Kirk assassination, though, that really struck a nerve with me. The fact that the vice president decided that he was going to spend our tax dollars, yours and mine, right, to transport, this person's body, back to his home, in Arizona yesterday. That they're spending all of this national capital on sending him home, so to speak. I didn't approve of that. Why should I have to spend any of my tax dollars to give this guy, some sort of a homegoing with dignity? He hated me. He didn't like people like me. So why should I be forced to pay for anything? Like I think I'm not going to say his family, but his estate should reimburse the taxpayers for that flight on Air Force Two to take his body back to Arizona. Yeah, call me petty, call it what you want, but as I said, he felt like I shouldn't have any rights. So why the hell should I pay for him, to be, transported back home? Why are we flying our flags at half mast in this country? He was no government official. He wasn't anybody important, other than to his own family and his own friends. He wasn't a military veteran or anything like that. So why does he get such treatment from our federal government, who is supposed to represent us, the people? Charlie Kirk didn't give a shit about us, the people. Excuse me, I'm sorry. All Charlie Kirk gave a shit about was him and other white people like him and other Christian nationals just like him. Think about that. But the fact that we have a criminal leading our government right now, and he has has turned our government into the world's largest criminal organization, or at least the world's most powerful criminal organization. That, what can I do? I'm just one man. You know what I'm saying? But that really got my goat yesterday. I thought that was definitely wrong. He shouldn't have been using Air Force Two, which belongs to we the people belongs to me, you, and everyone else, you know, I mean, it's like this. If we're going to use Air Force Two to do that for him, we should do it for everyone, every single American citizen, because every single American citizen has an ownership stake in Air Force Two. And like I said, call me petty, you know, but hey, call a spade, what it is. But you've never seen that done for any other civilian. Any other average American doesn't get to have Air Force Two as part of their funeral procession, so to speak. You know, so yeah, I felt the way about that. And I'm no patriot or nothing like that, but like I said, you know, we got to call it like it is. You know, it's either going to be for everybody or be for none, you know. But these elected officials, for some reason, have seemed to have forgotten, who they work for. For some reason or another, we the people has no meaning anymore. And it's coming. I think it's coming to a violent end. I really do. I believe it's going to come down to a military option in 2028 to get Donald Trump out of office. And these other, unfortunately, Republican, corrupt Republican politicians, as well as Democrat. There are plenty of corrupt Democratic politicians. One was just recently sentenced to a lot of years in prison for bribery. What was his name? Was it Menendez or I forget his name, in New Jersey? But his wife was just given a bunch of years yesterday for her part in their scam that they were running in New Jersey. They were Democrats. So don't think I'm up here, tooting the horn for Democrats because I badmouth Republicans, but the Republicans are the ones that are in control of the federal government right now, and they are totally corrupt. Totally, in every way. From the executive office to the Supreme Court. Democrats have no legislative power to fight anything right now. And people have seemed to have forgotten history. Look back through history. They talk about how much, they hate the Democrats and the liberals and this and that. But our government has always functioned better under Democratic control. Financially, it's always been better. Democrats are the only ones who have ever balanced the federal budget, ever. No Republican has even come close to balancing the budget. Think about that. Now we got Donald Trump, who claims he's the president of peace, but he renames the Department of Defense the Department of War. Somebody commented on one of my comments the other day that, oh, you need to educate yourself. It was originally called the Department of War. Yeah, I know that, idiot. But they changed it to the Department of Defense because, one, we're not supposed to be a warmongering type nation. And our military, it was set up for our self-defense. Originally, it was for our self-defense against England, in the revolution, for so-called freedom then, which didn't apply to my people back then. It only applied to the European illegal immigrants to this land. But we have so many issues going on in this world right now that I think are wrong. And violence is at the head of it. The Palestinian-Israeli conflict. Israelis are committing genocide. The Israeli government needs to go. Plain and simple. They need to go. Don't get it twisted. I didn't say the Jewish people. I said the Israeli government needs to go. If you can't understand that, then you're just as fucked up as they are. Actually, the American government needs to go. It needs to be torn down and rebuilt from the bottom up. Our government is co-signing the genocide in Palestine. And it's shameful. We continue to send them weapons that are being used to slaughter these people who have no way of fighting back. And granted, they've been exploited from the inside as well by terror group Hamas. They need to go as well, because they're just as guilty as the Israeli government in regards to the slaughter of the Palestinian people. Hamas is a criminal organization. They're terrorists. But also, again, I'm going to reiterate, the Israeli government are terrorists as well. The American government at this point is supporting terrorists inside and out. Our government supports homegrown terrorists as well. Unfortunately, that's the truth. Let's be honest, everybody. Let's stop the back and forth and the bullshit and you know the political wrangling and the partisanship. We got bullshit going on both sides of the flag, on both sides of the fence. It all needs to be torn all the way the fuck down. And for those of us that have good common sense, we need to take control of this bullshit and make it right. And again, some of you will agree, some of you will disagree. There's a lot of you out there that think everything is just fine, just the way it is. It's okay. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. I'm here to say bullshit. But hey, who am I? I'm just one guy. All right, so anyway, that's my daily commentary. That's my daily rant. That's my daily bullshit. I'm your man's Ken Jackson. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel right here, Crazy Baby TV World. It won't cost you a thing. I don't have any products to sell you. I'm not trying to get in your pockets for nothing. Just help me out with the algorithm. If you follow me on TikTok, tell your friends to follow me on TikTok. I'm trying to get up to 1,000 followers on TikTok so I can do a little bit more. Trying to make this a serious thing finally after years of procrastination on my part. See, I can take accountability for the bullshit I've done. But I want to make this a serious channel now. If you're interested in joining the production team here at Crazy Baby TV World, or even if you're interested in having your own show right here on the Crazy Baby TV World Network, hit me up, DM me, send me an email, call me, visit the website. My phone number's there. And let's chit chat. Let's talk about doing some work together. All right? Nothing's off limits. It's all on the table with me. I'm your man's Ken Jackson. This has been the Ken Jackson Experience. I will see you all Sunday night, 9 p.m. For my regular broadcast. We'll catch you then. Peace. I'm out.